You want to run a sub-4 marathon. I get it. It's a great goal to have because getting under one of those big benchmarks like sub-5 hour, sub-4 hour, or maybe even sub-3 hour is just really exciting. And I think you're going to like your marathon PR when it starts with 3 instead of a 4. So if you want to run a sub-4 marathon, that puts the magic pace at 9:09 per mile or about 5:38 per kilometer. If you can run that pace for 26.2 miles, you're going to be able to run a sub-4 hour marathon. But how do you know when you're ready to do this? How do you know what the training looks like that will bring you to this level of performance? So I want to talk about 4 things today that are going to help you get to this goal of running a sub-4 hour marathon. The first 3 are training related. Let's start with those. Number 1 is mileage. If you want to run a sub-4 marathon, then you probably need a little bit more structured, substantial training than someone who's just training to finish the run. So I like to say, let's get your peak training up to about 40-45 miles per week. I think this is maybe not a bare minimum, but a little bit more than a bare minimum for the marathon. Because if you're someone who's training for a 26.2 mile race, you do want to start running a decent amount during an entire week to really harden your legs and develop that cardiovascular system so that you know you're actually going to be able to finish it and finish it well. Next, there's your long run. Now, a lot of runners will spend the bulk of their training plan gradually building the long run so that they get up to a 20-mile run. And I think that's a fine strategy, particularly if you're someone who's running their first marathon or someone who just wants to finish the marathon. If you don't have a strong performance goal, then we don't need to really pay super close attention to our long runs. We just need to get it up to about 20 miles. But if you're someone with a more substantial performance goal, like running that sub-4 marathon, we do need to get a little bit more serious with our long run. Because the long run is the most valuable run that you're going to do during the week for the marathon. Because it's the run that's most closely resembles the marathon. It's your longest run of the week. So let's try to get up to 20 miles twice during the training cycle. And the way that you do this is by starting the training cycle with a higher long run, with a longer long run. So a lot of folks may start their 16 or 18-week marathon training cycle with a 9 or 10-mile long run, and that'll give them just about enough time to build up to 20. But more advanced runners who are trying to break 4 in the marathon, let's start with your long run closer to 12 or 13 miles. That's going to allow you not only to build to 20, but then have some extra time to stay at 20, to get in an additional 1 or 2 extra 20-mile long runs. Because if a 20-mile long run is good, 2 20-mile long runs is better. Next, there are the workouts. Now, a lot of runners who are running their first marathon or just trying to finish, they're not doing a weekly workout. But a weekly workout is one of the things that really helps you get faster. It helps you practice running faster. And over the course of the training season, let's get you comfortable running a variety of workouts. Workouts like fartlek repetitions, tempo runs, and even hill repetitions. These are 3 phenomenal workouts for marathoners, especially if they're run appropriately, of course. You don't want to run the fartleks or the hills too fast, make them into power workouts, but we do want to make them more aerobically oriented so that you are working a lot at lactate threshold or tempo pace and really building your body's ability to endure. You want to always be pushing up on that lactate threshold and building that aerobic metabolism. These are 3 great workouts to do that. And like I said earlier, if you're someone who has this big performance goal of breaking 4, then we do have to get more serious with the faster sessions that we're doing during the week. Now, this isn't a workout, but it is going to make those workouts feel a lot easier. It's going to help you with improving your running economy and actually making you a little bit stronger because fast running does require more strength, and that's strides. So if you're not running strides 2 or 3 times a week, I would definitely start this week. They are that fundamental, and I don't care who you are as a runner. You could be a marathoner, you could be a 5K runner, you could have 2 weeks of experience or 20 years of experience. If you're not doing strides, let's start today. Strides are about 100-meter accelerations where you build to about 95-98% of your max speed. You hold that for only about 2 seconds, and then you coast to a stop. They're very fast, but they're also very short and you get full recovery. These are done after easy runs. They are not really a workout. I would think of them more as drills that you do after an easy run to help you loosen up, to work on your turnover and leg speed, and to develop that efficiency that's really going to help you in the marathon. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, this isn't training related, but it's how to know when you're ready to break 4 in the marathon. And that's with this idea of equivalent performances. If you want to run a 4-hour marathon, you better run an equivalently competitive half marathon, 10K, and 5K as well. Because if you're someone who runs a 30-minute 5K, you're never going to be able to run a sub 4-hour marathon. You have to be about the same level of athlete throughout the distances to get there. And since a marathon is a challenging event just because of how long it is, it's easier to get faster at the shorter distances. And so what I would say to anyone training for a sub 4 marathon is get fast first. Let's bring your half marathon time down to 1:53. Let's bring your 10K time down to, let me check my notes, 50:30, and let's bring your 5K time down to 24 minutes. If you can run 1:53, 50:30, or about 24 minutes in the 5K, then those times give a solid indication that you're ready for a sub 4 performance. You just have to do the marathon training, get in the long runs, and build the endurance to carry that fitness through all 26.2 miles. But that's how you know. Get in those other races at those times, and the training for that will actually be easier for you than marathon training, and then you know you're ready for that sub 4. So there you have it. Those are the training strategies to help you bring your marathon to a sub 4 performance, and then also the equivalent race performance so you know when you're ready to actually do it. Now, when you get more advanced, you can do even more advanced things. You can do fast finish long runs. You can do 2 workouts per week. You can do things like more long runs, longer long runs, double sessions, higher mileage. There's a lot of things that we can do. But if you're shooting for a sub 4 marathon, let's start with getting your mileage up to about 40 to 45 miles per week, making sure that you're getting in at least 2 20-mile long runs and doing a consistent workout every week with strides a couple times a week. If you can do that and then repeat that cycle, so train for the marathon. If you don't quite hit your sub 4 time, that's okay. Then maybe you transition to the half, the 10K, or the 5K. Keep working on getting faster so that when you come back to the marathon, you'll be just a better runner, and that sub 4 will be even more possible for you. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you want to check out any of our other marathon content that we have on the strengthrunning.com website, we have even more big how-to guides. We have more videos even, and a lot of podcast interviews with both professional runners and everyday runners on how to train for the marathon, how to really structure your training and your long runs. So I hope that's all helpful for you. And if you do have any specific marathon questions for me, go ahead and leave them in the comments section here, and I'll try to help you out.